We have an announcement from Margot Chandley, please.
I just want you all to know that the book, New Metaphysics by Bashar and the Association, is now bound and in actual cover and signed by Daryl personally. And these are the limited editions. He did. He sat out in my car and signed 60 of them. So I just want to know anyone who's interested in having one of these limited editions, please come and see me at the table during the break. Okay? Thanks.
Why? Before we start, I'd like to thank all of you for coming tonight and remind everyone once again, particularly for those who might be new, that what we like to do, simply because of the amount of people that are in these sessions, to give everyone an opportunity to come up to the microphone and ask what they want to ask in the line. Attempt to consolidate your question or whatever you want to talk about down to the single most important idea and ask one question. If Bashar carries it a little further, by all means go with him, but attempt to keep it to one idea, one thought, and just so we can get as many people as possible who would like a chance to interact up to the microphone this evening. And theoretically, that'll also help you focus in on exactly what it is you really want to talk about, what's really important to you in this particular interaction. So do that, and again, thanks for coming. All of you have a good time, and I'll see you later.
All right, I'll say how are you all this evening of your time as you create time to exist. Allow us to begin this interaction this evening of your time with a suggestion. If you wish, a motto. And, if you wish, a favor. All right? The favor I will ask, and what can be considered, in a sense, a motto of any interaction we have with you, will be to please, do not believe anything I say just because I said it. Understand? This is all about self-empowerment. It is all about your recognition of your ability to create the lives you wish to create. We are more than willing to function as reflections, to serve you, to share with you, to love you, to interact with you, to play with you. But remember that we are all, you and us, teachers and learners, equals in that way. We all have our own perspectives. And we simply function as mirrors to reflect, once again, to you, the things you already know within you, to show you, to allow you to be aware of things within you that you can then decide are what you prefer, ideas, perspectives, methodologies in life, or you can decide you do not prefer them. It is up to you. This evening of your time, let us discuss, and this can be your entitlement, intuition and intellect. For many of you, being such a polarized society, have considered these concepts to be something that have nothing to do with one another. As many polarities are created in your society, very often you have forgotten that they both must come from a single source at the center that has created both polarities. So, instinct, intuition, and intellect, reason. Yes, they are polarities. They are dichotomies, it seems, in your society, but they are actually simply variations, or if you wish, degrees of the same consciousness, of the same energy, like anything is. Intuition or what you may call instinct, as you recognize it in what you call the animal kingdom, is the same type of energy, the same type of consciousness that you utilize when you allow yourself to become self-aware in an analytical, intellectual, reasoning, focused idea. It is the same consciousness. The animals, in a sense, are self-aware. It is simply that they do not have the degree of persona focus in the same way that you do. It can be said that consciousness, in its natural homogeneous state, when it is all that is, undergoes degrees of focus, of self-limitation, of self-compaction. The animal level of consciousness represents to some degree one level of compaction, but the analytical, the intellectual focus represents a higher degree of compaction. That is all. That is the only difference between intellectual and instinct. This is one of the reasons why, in having created the polarity in your society of scientific thought and belief on faith, why you have created such a polarity and sometimes such a war between these two ideas. For each side fears the other side for what it believes to be an absolute opposite of the way it chooses to function, and it fears to incorporate, blend, and balance the other side for fear that they will lose what perspective they have, rather than recognizing they will simply gain an opportunity to blend and balance that perspective with another aspect of the same consciousness. It is not truly opposite in the sense that it has nothing to do with the way you might think or you might feel. Your scientists, in that sense, have simply been hesitant to rely on instinct or intuition, because when you begin to do that, you soften the focus of your persona, and it does, quote unquote, not allow for as high degree a concentration of compaction of analysis, intellectualization, rationalization, and the like. But in no way, shape, or form does it mean that intuition is an invalid way to access information. And those that are more, in your terms, instinctive do not have to fear they will become trapped in a quagmire of tunnel vision if they simply are willing to adopt aspects of blending in reason and intellectuality. These ideas can be blended, can be balanced. One is simply an extension to a higher degree of the other, but it is all one consciousness. This is one of the reasons we have discussed many times why, in a sense, animal consciousness is an extension of you, and in a sense, you are an extension of it. You are reflections of each other. What you call instinct and intellect are simply different degrees of the same consciousness. Different applications, if you will. You can blend and balance these things, and it will not be at the cost of your reason, nor will it be at the cost of your intuition. You will have both. Both will be applied when and where they are needed. Both are natural in that sense, natural to anything that considers itself to be a sentient being. It is one of the things that is representative of the blending and the balancing going on in your transformational age. You are never now, after what you have been through, going to become absolutely 100% instinctive. You are not going to become 100% intellectual. In blending both, you will be able to apply, where necessary and when necessary, all attributes. Remember that fourth density is the integration of everything you have ever been, not the exclusion of it. It is the integration of all of it, and the use of all of it when and where it applies. In perfect timing, in total trust, with absolute clarity of reason and insight in both senses of the term. You'll all follow along. So the idea of any interaction with us, whether you choose to use intuition or intellect in interacting with us, allow us to remind you that the idea is of balance, not the idea